Hi, my name is Renisha Adams, and I'm the Library Media Specialist for Monroe Demonstration Academy. And today I am going to give you an overview of the professional development plan created for next year. As the media specialist, so first I want to start off with a quick overview of the agenda. The event will take place from 3:50 to 5 p.m. We would start with the welcome and introduction, which includes the emerging technology, the needs assessment and learner analysis. That's going to be more so reflection on writing, on student Chromebook engagement and activity. Materials and activities will be discussed, guided practice, and last but not least, evaluation. So, just to kind of sort of introduce the technology that I decided to create training for, it would be the actual Chromebook, the touchpad Chromebook. I've noticed pretty much the trend here. Most of the teachers at my school, they allow students to use just the typical Chromebooks. I noticed that, when I came, those have been in Oklahoma schools now, I would say at least since 2000, maybe 2007, 2008. However, what I didn't see a lot of were the touchscreen Chromebooks. So for my observation, I actually decided to order, I think 15. I created an order of 15, and just to gauge just the an understanding and just an overview of how students interacted, I allowed them, of course, to utilize the touchscreen, and I noticed there was a significant difference. They were more so definitely engaged. They were more thrilled. They seemed to also be more focused. So I created a handout basically just to address some of the different benefits, the quality of using these touchscreen Chromebooks. So touchscreen devices have become very popular through schools in the U.S. and other countries. While some argue that touchscreen devices such as Chromebooks are a distraction in classrooms, others suggest that these devices help to improve learning, enhance engagement, and spark creativity. So I also did a study. According to that study, with schools in Quebec, studies show that Chromebooks and tablets help students in terms of the following. They provide a visual quality of teaching material, finding a unique teaching approach, so they help teachers to basically establish a new creative way of teaching. They also allow students to publish and share and search for information included in the huge array, of course, of resources online that students receive while using these devices as well. Some of the other benefits of touchscreens, which would be the touchscreen over input, is pretty much innate for us as human beings to always want to touch something or feel or gain that type of interaction. So with the touchscreen Chromebook, it allows these students to pretty much act off that sense of touch versus actually inputting the information. Now, the great thing about it is they have that option. Maybe they're not so big on the touchscreen. Well, the touchscreen Chromebook gives them that option to go from touch to just simply input. That's what I like about it. The practice of reaching out and touching objects, as we mentioned, was innate. Students especially have a natural desire to touch and move objects, as we know. Chromebooks also give them the opportunity to go, once again, from, display screen to input. Okay, so moving on to just an introduction. So the topic is focusing on enhancing the quality of student engagement. That's an area that I really feel that's most effective. When it comes to education, it's engaging. I'd rather be in front of a group of students who actually want to learn versus students who really don't want to learn, and I'm sure we could probably all agree on that. So another topic that we'll discuss is how to implement the technology in classrooms, and then understanding the benefits of touchscreen over input, in which I went over via the handout. So when implementing the professional development plan, the first step is to first establish partnerships with current educators. This will best help to pretty much form that community partnership. This helps to kind of break the ice. This helps to establish a relationship. It's easier to go to someone when there is some type of connection, when there is some type of relationship built. This would also allow us to exchange and share ideas when building that learning community. So prior to even creating the professional development plan, I think the first step would be to first analyze a few questions just to make sure that you gauge the interest of the teachers, that you're not hitting on certain topics and points that they're already aware of, so that basically you're not wasting their time. So the 3 questions was whether or not if there was a new technology implemented by the district. You also want to know whether or not staff members were discussing software programs. Maybe you overheard the conversation. And then the 3rd question is, have you as a librarian acquired new library resources that would be beneficial to staff and students? So according to my teacher staff, since the arrival of the new touchscreen Chromebooks, teachers have yet to implement the most efficient use of these devices other than displaying and submitting assignments to students. So that was my observation, which led me into creating a focus around the touchscreen Chromebooks for professional training. So the instructional objectives, of course, to teach educators the various forms of utilizing Chromebooks in the classrooms, also to demonstrate new methods and strategies for student engagement, and to adapt thinking to new ideas and situations. The incentives provided, that I would provide refreshments and snacks for attending the session, and then also a certificate of completion provided for each attendee. Materials and activities. So the materials and activities used to present this session would be definitely for a large group session training in the library meeting room. Just because we have the space, it's a great learning environment climate for presenting new information. The materials will include PowerPoint presentations, the actual Chromebook touchscreen itself for each teacher, and then also the handout. As for the guided practice, first, teachers will be guided to create an infographic using the Chromebook touchscreen. So as I am basically demonstrating how to use an infographic or create an infographic, teachers are also gaining just the overall experience of using the touchscreen Chromebook and how it could be used and implemented in classes to gauge students' learning. So as far as the timeline of the presentation, it would begin January 4th. The session training would begin from 3:50 to 5, and of course teachers would already have the 20-minute break, which would begin prior to the training session. Lastly, the evaluation. Basically, there would be a questionnaire created from Google Docs. And then this questionnaire would be used to improve the quality of future professional development sessions.